Hola clase. Today we are going to see how to make a critical path analysis. And remember that the critical path is going to be made, but the tasks that don't have any margin on them. If any delay happens on them, the whole project will suffer. And instead of calling them margin, we call them float, but it's exactly the same. That critical path is going to determine the minimum completion time. How many units of time I need to finish the whole project if everything goes to plan. There are no delays or no unforeseen circumstances. How fast can I finish my project? Now, you need to know how to create a network diagram because you are going to use the diagram to determine which tasks are going to be in that critical path. And we've got a video on that one, so check that part. Now for our how-to, you're going to start in your source node and you're going to number that one 0. If you want to think about it, it's when the timer starts for the whole project. And in each of the subsequent nodes, which is the task, in each node you add the duration to whichever previous value you have. And that is going to tell you at which point in time you can move forward with the next. Now, if you find two or more arcs entering into a node, you have one task that depends on two or more. You always pick the highest value. That is the rule. Always the highest value because it's your timeline. You're going to continue that way until you reach your sync node, your end. And that is going to tell you how much time you need to complete your project. And we call that minimum completion time. Now let's see it here in an example, and we're going to start marking a 0, and then in each of the arcs we're just going to add to that 0 our duration, 5 in this case. That gives me a 5. And in the next one, I'm going to go in alphabetical order, 0 from the start and 6. That gives me a 6. And that is the process that I'm going to repeat all throughout the network diagram. So if I look at the tasks that come from A, that 5 is going to get added to the duration. That would give me a 9 for C, then for D, 5 plus 3, 8, and for E, 5 plus 1, 6. Now for F, I only have one option, 6 and 4, that's a 10. And now it's when I need to be careful because for G, I've got two different ways of coming into. From there, which is an 8, or here. So I'm going to look at the biggest. Always pick that one, and to that is the one that I add the duration. So in this case, it's going to be a 10 plus the 14 of the duration. That would give me a 24. And in the real case, I would only write the 24, this part here, but I'm putting the numbers so you see where they're coming from. And now in age, more of the same. I've got two options. I pick the biggest, and that gives me a 21. In I, same. I'm going to pick the 24 because it's the biggest number entering there. And then I don't need to add anything. I simply transfer it there. Now, that 26 is my minimum completion time, which means how many units of time I need to create that project or to finalize that project if everything goes to plan. But I don't know yet which ones of the tasks don't have margins. So from this 26, which is how long it's going to take, I'm going to work backwards, always picking the biggest number. There's only one way to go backwards, so I mark it. And now here I've got two options. I'm going to pick the biggest number, and I retrace my steps. Same here, I could come backwards towards F or towards D, pick the biggest, and now it's the easy part. There's only one option. I'm going to highlight it and backwards again until I get to the start. Those tasks are the ones that make the critical path, that one here. So those are the tasks that don't have any margin. If something happens, the whole project takes more than 26 units. So I come in here and it's just A, E, F, G, I, writing them there. That's my critical path and I'm done. Okay, now it's your turn to go and practice. Thanks for watching.